Yeah, I thought that, what you wanted to see, both sides, kind of going, we got after them early. When I say we, the defense did. And then I thought the offense bounced back, especially once we started driving the ball. And I know that's kind of typical. It's hard when you're tempo offense to kind of just do situational things that just are stagnant from the beginning. They need the flow is what really allows them to get going. So really felt like that they really started moving the ball well then and making plays in space, which is always the key. And so just felt like both sides were very effective when they needed to be. And then I thought our specialists, I was really encouraged by just the quality of our kicks and their confidence and their timing and both our punt work and our PAT field goal work and stuff. So I just thought that as a whole group, being the first chance to do it, a lot of positives for sure.
Are you happy in the quarterback play?
Absolutely. I think that we protected the football. I thought in the beginning we had it was more of the timing on our zone reads to be able to get the balls on the ground a few times. Don't want to ever see that. But as far as protecting the football in the passing game, did a good job with that. Because to me, that's the key. You protect the football, make your reads, and a lot of good things happen. So I felt like that Richard did a really nice job.
Accuracy?
Yeah. I mean, I think that now we had some drops. I wasn't happy with the drops, but I know Coach Hurd will get that fixed. But in terms of ball placement, and just to me, it's demeanor. It's just how you carry yourself. On the field and how you speak to your teammates and that whole confidence piece is what I've been encouraged by, from our quarterbacks, and that to me is what it comes down to, because that's infectious, good or bad. The guys can sense it when it's not the right way, and then I feel like that position is starting to understand the value of that more. I'm impressed with his play, and I kind of knew or expected him to, because we saw him on the scout team last year. Every day, and I just thought he was a guy that was going to do everything right. He's as mentally tough and as well schooled in regards to the game of football, being a coach's kid, and just one of those guys that does all the little things the right way off the field. So, been doing a good job. He's got to continue to grow, and he will.
You talked about guys making plays in space during the scrimmage. Can you talk about some of those guys, some of those plays?
Yeah, I think Simmons continues to be a guy, that is a problem. Donovan Hale's another one. He had a couple drops, but those guys, especially, I tell you, Ian Thomas is one that is probably the most that it jumps out at you, because you hadn't seen it from him in the past, And so, from my perspective, matter of fact, he's one of the guys I challenged from the beginning of spring, and I told him, I said, you got so much potential inside of you that we haven't seen yet, and he just needs to do the little things off the field correctly in his preparation, in the way that he approaches practice, and you're seeing it when it's those live goes, and today was a bunch of them. He ends up popping because he can run. He's a big athlete, and some matchup issues for him at that tight end spot against linebackers and safeties, and so he can not only position you, he's also fast enough to run away from you. So to me, he's probably the biggest improvement in making those plays in space of our guys.
How is Jay Sean doing? What's his participation level?
He's not full bore, so he just goes whenever we're just playing, or we call it just full speed tag, so no contact for him. So, but he's making progress for sure. He should be on track to get back in time for the fall.
The same thing about Kemian Patrick.
Yeah, he's still a little slower in it, because he hasn't been even out there, So, but he's on schedule to be with us full bore in the summer, and then get him ready for fall camp.
With the scrimmage, was Mike DeBoer able to call the offense, kind of like simulate what you will be doing next fall?
More, we did the way we structured it. You had several the segmented pieces, not necessarily, because you kind of everything is really called in the office. We script all that, but when we drove it, that was pretty much. You did the drives from the 30, the drive from the 40, and then the overtime drive. To me, that's pretty much. We don't even ahead of time. We just make situational calls on a script that we will call just like we would in a game. So those are as game-like as we can get, and I thought which is the whole point. We really want to be able to create those as much as we can, and then you obviously make sure you get enough work in specific areas that don't allow an area to get not enough reps.
And Tigre is obviously kind of a known commodity, but the other linebackers playing alongside him now in Marcus's spot. Who do you see there?
I tell you that T.J. Simmons is doing a good job. He had to learn the defense. Last year pretty much was out the whole year, and so he's got to learn it. And I just tell you what, Tom Ballstad's a kid that that came here as a walk-on and has a lot of skill, a lot of talent to him, and he's worked extremely hard. He's very bright. He can play both positions. You know, Keontae Walton, we've moved to Stinger from safety. Been a real pleasant surprise, you know, and really want to challenge a lot of our guys to step up and make plays. I'm going to go back and watch the film to see who more pops, but Mike McGinnis is another guy that's new. That's he's kind of, I think, head swimming a little bit just because it's all new to him. He's one we expect to him. We have Chris Covington was out with an injury, and so, you know, hated that because I really wanted to see him get those quality reps. You know, he's been having a really good spring. So, but you know, the bottom line is that that's a huge position for us to be able to get production from. So, you know, T. Gray's doing a great job leading the way.
See any pass rush today?
A little bit, yeah. You know, and I think
Anybody
that
involved with that particularly?
yeah, you know, and for me, you know, I tell you, when you go through and watch everything, we'll be able to tell you more when I do that because I don't see all those, you know, when you just walk off the field. But I do know that, you know, Niall Sykes for me is one that has really elevated himself at times, and I'm going to continue to make an issue of that with him, and it's got to be consistent. You know, and matter of fact, I challenged him today. That was our one word for Thursday, and I said that has got to be your motto. It's not his one word, but I said that's got to be part of who you become because when he does it right, he's got all the talent and the twitch to make those plays. Alan Stallings is another one that he pops, you know, and he's got a burst to him that's special. And you know, the other guys, you know who those all are, and they're doing some good things. But those younger guys got to continue to elevate their level of play because it's about depth and numbers.
When Richard Lego got back from San Diego and he was talking to us the other day, he said that he wanted to come back from San Diego. He said the whole time I was out there, he said I was just bragging on Coach Allen and wanting to come back to Bloomington because the enthusiasm was so infectious. He said he said what T. Gray and Gooch and those guys brought to the defense and having that 100% buy-in. You know, I want to be one of the guys on offense that brings that. Are you starting to see that? You know, your philosophy spread through the entirety of the team now?
Yeah, it's starting to, for sure. You know, and it's a little bit of a unique situation because, you know, those guys on the deep side of the ball, and they really truly believe, and that's helped the offensive guys, you know, because it's because even we had a really important, I thought, session this morning as a team in our team meeting, talk about these key things. The way I would address the defense, I use those chances here in spring to address the whole team, and some of it is new things that the defense hadn't heard, but a lot of it's core principles that I believe in. And for these guys on this side, point over here, the opposite side of the room, you know, for them to be able to see it and hear it with their own ears and their own eyes, and there's no question it's becoming, you know, part of the whole team. And I had many guys tell me the same thing where they couldn't wait to get back. And I believe in that. I believe that we want to create an environment where they want to be here. And college football's hard. You know, it's a very demanding, you know, schedule that we put them under. Physically, emotionally, everything is tough mentally, and so I just feel like that you want to make it. It's not that it's easy, but I had some guys today say, "What does LEO mean to you in your daily life?" You know, we have it as a hashtag, we have it as a saying. I said, "Is it just?" And so I had several seniors stand up and talk about that, and to me, to hear it come from them, it's becoming part of who we are. You know, and they realize it. Matter of fact, even one of the officials commented about the team. He said, "Man, it's just like you can just tell there's just something. These guys really care about each other. They love it." He used the word love. He said, "These guys, man, you can just tell there's some genuine, you know, something different about these guys towards one another. And they're practicing hard and they're making each other better. But they understand it's not about me. It's about the guys around me. And when it becomes that, and it becomes way bigger than me, it becomes really special, you know. And that's what we want. And the kids are really buying into that."
Coach, as far as losing Ralph Green on the defensive line, what do you lose in a player like Ralph, and who's really come to kind of take his place on the line?
Yeah, you know, and Nate Hoff's, you know, not practicing, so you know you kind of really miss those two guys in the core. But you know, Jacob Robinson's got to rise up, you know, and he's really doing a lot of good things, you know. And so, but what Ralph gave us was, you know, he was a big body guy, you know, and he cared a bunch. He really did. To his credit, he bought in and he believed in what we were telling him, and it took a little bit. Once he got it, it took off for him. And so, you know, looking for that next, you know, Juan Harris is the guy that's, you know, big body for sure, but he's got to learn how to play the game. You know, it's a whole different ball game at this level. And so, you know, those guys are critical for us. And, you know, and just Jerome Johnson, another young freshman that's going, you know, he's got to figure it out, you know, and he shows flashes. And that's what you kind of expect. These young guys, they show flashes, and it's not consistent, you know, and these older guys got to continue to set that standard. And you know, Bowman, he's got to really continue. He once again shows flashes, but it's consistent performance. And like I said, that was a word we used this week, and it applies to a whole bunch of folks. And to me, that's what separates good to great, is consistent execution, consistent discipline, doing little things right all the time.